Hello, my dear friends. I welcome you to my online lecture series on paper number 4 of TYBA English. During the last lecture, we have seen the background topics applied for the syllabus, highlighting Renaissance movement. The first subtopic demands clear understanding of the Renaissance movement. Renaissance covers three major movements: Renaissance, Humanism, and Reformation. Renaissance is totally intellectual movement related to the revival of classical learnings of ancient civilization. Humanism is related with exploration of human life, external and internal world of the human life. The movement tries to understand the human being, and the Reformation is totally a religious movement. During this lecture, we will study the movement of humanism, spirit of Renaissance, revival of classical learning, great achievements of the ancient civilizations were introduced to the period through new books, translation of those books into the vernacular languages. It presented totally different lifestyle based upon luxuries of life, pleasures of life. The Middle Ages were dominated by the strict observation of the religious teaching that demanded rejection of pleasures, worldly pleasures, denying the sensual pleasures. And the new Greek-Roman literature presented the celebration of the sensual pleasures. Religious teaching taught them to look towards beauty, physical beauty, and sensual pleasure as the gateway of the hell. Those were considered as the temptation, whereas ancient literature taught them how to enjoy the same thing. Beauty and sensual pleasures were the religion of the Greek life. It changed the attitude of the period to look towards stale, uninteresting, lifeless life. Established systems and knowledge stressed that a man is a single unit in a social system, political system, religious system, and so on. The period tried to understand the human being as a complete unit. So, try to know that what is the inner world of the human life, human soul, human psyche. They explored ancient literature, paintings, and other arts to understand the human life, human mind. It actually widened the mental horizons of the period. The humanists of this period closely observed the life, beauty of human body. It resulted into the paintings and the architecture of the period. They attempted to recapture the spirit of ancient civilizations through their arts. There are various types of arts developed under this movement. However, we will concentrate only on three major arts: architecture, paintings, and literature. One may ask a simple question: being the student of literature, why should we take interest into architecture, painting? Friends, architecture and paintings influenced the entire period. Those were the stampings of the new world, new attitude towards life. Without reference and understanding of these arts, our discussion of humanism will be incomplete. So, the first is architecture. The Renaissance style of architecture was originated in Italy. Soon it was spread throughout Europe. There was a revival of classical forms, ornamental style, beauty, harmony, and grandeur were the major features of the new architecture. There was surprising beauty for the people on the background of religious teaching, which denied worldly pleasures and luxurious life. Decorated churches, decorated places, and attracted the Middle Ages. So, the first architecture is Filippo Brunelleschi, best known for designing the Dome of Duomo in Florence. He was also a talented artist. He is said to have rediscovered the principle of linear perspectives, an artistic device that creates the illusion of the space by depicting converging parallel lines. Architecture, sculpture, mechanical engineer, various sketches of machines. His famous works are Dome of Duomo in Florence, Cathedral of Santa Maria, Hospital of Innocents, Basilica San Lorenzo. The second is Alberti. Alberti was an Italian Renaissance humanist, author, artist, architect, poet, priest, linguist, philosopher, and even cryptographer. He was an ideal Renaissance man. In Rome, he was employed by Pope Nicholas V for restoration of Roman etiquette of Aqua Virgini, which debauched into a simple basin designed by Alberti. His other works are Villa Medicini of Fiesole, become the model of luxurious life, beautiful life. It is also known as the Renaissance Villa. The Tempio Malastino in Rimini is the rebuilding of Gothic church. His book on architecture had a great impact on the later architects. The third great architect of this period is Donato Bramante. Donato is also spelled as Donino or Donino. He introduced the high Renaissance style in architecture. His early works in Milan included the Rectory of Sant Ambrogio and the Church of Santa Maria delle Grazie. In Rome, Bramante served as the principal planner of Pope Julius II and his comprehensive project for rebuilding the Vatican City. St. Peter's Basilica, of which he was the chief architect, was begun in 1506. Other major Roman works were Tempio at San Pietro in Montorio and the Belvedere Court in the Vatican City. Then we turn to paintings of the early Renaissance period. Under the influence of Greek-Roman paintings, they studied anatomy and physiology of human body, its minute curves and beauty. The first is Giotto. He was an Italian painter and architect from Florence during the late Middle Ages. He worked during the Gothic Proto-Renaissance period. Giotto was the most sovereign master of painting in his time, who drew all his figures and their postures according to the nature and of his publicly recognized talent and excellence. His Life of the Virgin and the Life of Christ are regarded as the supreme masterpieces of the early Renaissance. The second great painter of the period was Sandro Botticelli. He was Italian painter of early Renaissance. He painted wide range of religious subjects and also same portrait. Botticelli's best known works are The Birth of Venus and Primavera, depiction of human anatomy, perspective. There are also landscapes and the use of direct borrowing from classical art. His masterpieces are among the most famous paintings in the world, an icon of Italian Renaissance. Celebrated Venus and Mars, and Pallas and the Centaur, and Bardi altarpiece are his best masterpieces. Then we turn to Leonardo da Vinci. He was one of the greatest painters of the Italian Renaissance. His Mona Lisa, The Last Supper, The Baptism of Christ, etc., are the famous paintings. The greatest painter of all time. Unfortunately, only 25 paintings are survived. The Baptism of Christ, the Virgin Mary, the Adoration of Magi, and the Lady of Ermine are the other paintings from his brush. Next important painter is Raphael, Italian painter, Raffaello Sanzio or Raffaello Santi. He was an Italian painter and architect of high Renaissance. Together with Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci, he forms the traditional trinity of great masters of that period. The best known work is The School of Athens. Raphael is significant for you because you are going to study him in the Victorian period. The last important painter is Michelangelo. Survey of Renaissance art may remain incomplete without reference of Michelangelo. His The Creation of Adam, The Last Judgment are the landmarks in the history of painting. Okay? Now we turn to literary masters of early Renaissance, who paved the paths for the later writers and poets. The Renaissance scholars began to study subjects of human interest. Number of writers expressed themselves through various vernacular languages. Some notable literary artists and their literature was written in Italian, Portuguese, German, English, and French vernacular languages. The first is Dante, the Great. His Va Vita Nuovas, The New Life, is a collection of love poems. It was sensational to read the poems on love and worldly emotions during the Middle Ages. Dante is best known for his epic poem, The Divine Comedy. It is full of wisdom, scholarly learning, and aesthetic beauty. It is the summary of medieval thoughts. Dante presents the journey of his soul through the hell, the purgatory, and at last, the paradise, heaven. He had tremendous influence on the later writers like Geoffrey Chaucer and Milton. The second is Petrarch. Petrarch was the great Italian lyric poet, best known as the father of sonnet form. His love sonnets were very famous during the Renaissance that almost all European languages imitated them. His love for Laura, the lady with divine beauty who is already married to another man, his longing and passionate love for her, all those things are expressed in his sonnets. Theme of passionate longing for a beautiful married woman. Everything was against the traditions of established Middle Ages. He was the most popular poet of the period. Surrey, Watt, Sidney, Sir Walter Raleigh, Shakespeare. These are English writers. They perfected Petrarch's sonnet in English. Petrarch published around 400 poems in his Canazuri, the Book of Psalms. The second is Giovanni Boccaccio. Boccaccio is considered as the first prose writer of the modern vernacular language. His masterpiece is Decameron. Presents 100 stories. Deca means 10 and Cameron means chambers or parts. 5 young girls and 5 young boys ran into the forest to save their lives from the epidemic of plague. As there was danger of wild animals like wolves during the night, they decided to spend the night around the fire. To spend sleepless night, everyone would tell one story. During every night, there were 10 stories told by these 10 members. They spent 10 nights together. Collection of these 100 stories is Decameron. Decameron was the major source of inspiration for the Renaissance writers. Later writers modeled the plot, characters, and development of the setting with the help of Decameron. Niccolo Machiavelli is very important writer of this period. He was Italian diplomat, philosopher, and writer. He has often been called the father of modern political philosophy or political science. Machiavelli explains the methods to capture and maintain the strong political order in his famous book, The Prince. The book is advice to his friend how to capture the power and means to control the ultimate power. He was so famous during the Middle Ages that the book was studied as the holy book by the young generations. His other book, The Art of War, was also very famous during the days. Geoffrey Chaucer. Chaucer was the greatest English poet of the Middle Ages. He wrote the Canterbury Tales, a group of stories that ranks among the masterpieces of literature. He was the first writer to use heroic verse. His other famous works are The Legends of Good Women, The Book of the Duchess, The House of Fame, etc. History of English literature begins with him. He exerted a tremendous influence for the later period. Then we come to very important figure of the Renaissance period, Saint Thomas More. Saint Thomas More was the great English author, statesman, social philosopher, and great Renaissance scholar. He was the champion of Renaissance knowledge. His great work, Utopia, had tremendous influence on the contemporary period. Utopia presents the ideal state, imaginary state, just like Plato's book. He was intimate friend of British King Henry VIII. Saint Thomas enjoyed great position as Lord of High Chancellor of England. He presented the case of Henry VIII in the Papal Court. Papal Court, the court of Pope in Rome. However, he opposed Protestant Reformation and he was executed by his dear friend the king. Next one is Edmund Spenser. Edmund Spenser is best known for his unfinished epic poem, The Fairy Queen. His other notable works are The Shepherd's Calendar, Amoretti, and Epithalamion. We are going to study two parts from The Shepherd's Calendar, which are applied for this same paper. He is known for the Spenserian stanza and his sonnet form. Next is Montaigne. Montaigne was the French writer, better known as the father of essay form. He was the great statesman of the period. He has written his important works in Latin, the classical language. And he wrote unimportant works, loose sallies of mind, in the prose form in vernacular French writing. Ironically, his reputation rests upon the unimportant works, that is, personal essay. The essay form became too much popular during the Renaissance period. That number of writers expressed themselves through it. Friends, after humanism, we will turn to Reformation. Renaissance, humanism, and Reformation play very important role to give shape to, identity to European literature as well as English literature. What are the effects of Renaissance, humanism, and Reformation on English literature? We will study step by step. The second subtopic itself moves around Renaissance and English poetry, Renaissance and British drama, and Renaissance and pre-Shakespearean or university wits, pre-Shakespearean dramatist or university wits. Okay, goodbye. Let's hope to meet again as early as possible. Thank you. Thank you.